Prepare for the loading screen that will be your mind exploding from amazing gaming news. Are you expecting this? I bet you're not. Oh, let's do this.
Hello and welcome to Respawn TV. I'm your host Nate Quick, and this is your source for all things nerd culture. Let's start things off with this week's up-and-coming releases. You can look forward to seeing these games and many more released throughout the month on your favorite platforms. This week's releases are Danganronpa 1-2 Reload, March 14th for the PS4. This title is a compilation and PS4 port of the first two Danganronpa games, originally released for handheld and mobile systems. It tells the story of Makato Naegi, a student at a school overrun by murder. Players will explore the school and interact with NPCs during the day, hunt for clues at night, and attempt to solve the murders in Ace Attorney-esque class trials mode. Star Trek Bridge Crew, March 14th for the Vive, Oculus Rift, and PlayStation VR. This virtual reality title puts up to 4 players on the bridge of the USS Enterprise, as it appears in the 2009 reboot timeline. Players will take command of various responsibilities on the ship, such as captain, tactics officer, engineer, or helm officer, and take on Klingons in the story mission, or experience randomly generated missions. Styx Shards of Darkness, also March 14th for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4. This sequel to Styx Master of Shadows is the third game in the Of Orcs and Men series. Much like the first game, the emphasis is on stealth, allowing characters to clone themselves, turn invisible briefly, set traps, and utilize items like grappling hooks. In this game, Styx must infiltrate the city of the Dark Elves to discover why they have formed an alliance with the dwarves. Kona, March 17th for the PC, Xbox One, and PS4. This title is the first in a series of 4 games. As well as the first game, developer Parabole will release as a company. It takes place in 1970s Canada, where the player will investigate a mysterious blizzard in a detective-style survival horror experience. Keep tuned in each week to get news on up-and-coming release dates for new and exciting games. Up next, check out Esports Now by Sean Nenow.
This is Esports Now, and I'm Sean Nenow. We start this episode with Counter-Strike Global Offensive and IEM Katowice. Astralis has won the IEM Season 11 World Championship after defeating FaZe Clan 3-1 in the Grand Finals.
Bomb planted down by Glaive, and the shot for Dupree. A man who clutched the last closes it out.
The opening map of the Grand Finals was a FaZe specialty, Cash, and they dominated it with a 16-12 scoreline. Astralis fired back and took 3 straight maps, Overpass at 16-12, Nuke at 16-12, and Inferno 16-13 to win the series. The next big CSGO event is DreamHack Open Austin 2017, from April 28th through the 30th.
That maybe hold up, he's gonna try to push it right now. Widow Mines connect. I don't think there's anything that Stats can do as his army vaporizes it, and that is GG!
StarCraft 2 wrapped up IEM Katowice, and the finals came down to Stats, the current #1 ranked player in the WCS, and Tai, a player who recently won his first major tournament very late last year. Both players fought to turn games against their opponent, going back and forth to trade wins until they reached the final game in the best-of-7 series, which was tied at 3-3. Tai used an early aggression strategy in Game 7 and managed to translate that into a victory, gaining first place at the StarCraft 2 IEM Season 11 World Championships. In Korean League of Legends, SK Telecom T1 picked up another victory against KT Rolster in a 2-1 victory. This win puts SKT at the top of the Korean standings with a record of 10-1 and makes them the clear best team in the world.
Big play there from TSM. Afro is going to go down as well. TSM
In the North
gets
American
it.
League Championship Series, things got back to normal as Team Solo Mid and Cloud9 picked up 2-0 weeks to distance themselves from the rest of the league after every team had a week off.
Attention to the Nexus, gaining the kills, getting the base, and Misfits defeat the Unicorns.
In a matchup of two of the top 4 teams in the European League Championship Series, Misfits beat the Unicorns of Love 2-1. G2 Esports is still leading Group A with an 8-0 record, but Misfits is not far behind with a 7-1 record. Group B is led by H2K and the Unicorns of Love, who both have a record of 6-2 on the split. This has been Esports Now, and I've been your host, Sean Nino. We now send it back to Respawn TV.
Thanks, Sean. For more sports content, be sure to check out Bearcat Update every Monday through Thursday at 6 p.m. The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild finally released for the Wii U and Nintendo Switch after 3 years of patient waiting. The big question on everyone's mind leading up to the release was simple. Is it going to be worth it? The current response is an overwhelming yes. Breath of the Wild has been receiving rave reviews since the minute its press embargo was lifted, climbing its way to the top of numerous best video game of all time lists, including its number 4 spot on Metacritic, just a mere 2 spots away from the original Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time. Review sites like IGN, GameSpot, and Game Informer are clamoring to give Breath of the Wild a perfect score, with other publications like Time and The Guardian following suit. Notable YouTubers like Peanut Butter Gaming, Pro Jared, and Game Grumps have also had notably positive support of the game's fresh take on the Zelda universe. Now, without giving any spoilers, Breath of the Wild's appeal comes from mainly its gorgeous visuals, completely open world environment, large world size, inclusion of more in-depth RPG elements, and the introduction of new systems, like the cooking system. If you're a Zelda fan, or an RPG fan in general, you'll want to get your hands on what some are calling the perfect Zelda game. We'll continue after some commercials, but first, here's Jack McCormick with Why?
Hello, Respawners, and welcome back to another lively episode of Why, which is the perfect home for today's game, Japan World Cup, because there's never a shortage of weird things coming out of Japan. This game is essentially if the Kentucky Derby and the cartoon show Wacky Races had a love child. It's hard to actually call this a game, as all you do is bet on which of the 8 horses you think will win the race, and then hijinks ensue. From the very beginning, you get the sense that this is not going to be a normal race, as some of the entries are not racing on horses at all, but rather other 4-legged mammals like a giraffe, or a bull, or even in one case, 2 men in a horse costume. The race starts and all the horse and jockeys take off as any other horse race would. About halfway through the race is when that special Japanese brand of strange that we've all know and love comes and rears its ugly head. Each horse and jockey have a unique finishing move that puts them in the lead to win the race. For instance, America's tandem bike-like horse will stretch its body out to unrealistic standards across the finish line. Or in France, your horse will dramatically increase in speed if you get rid of all those heavy clothes that's weighing you down. Or you can be like this sidestepping SOB from Japan. 2 legs sidestepping is faster than 4 legs galloping because Japan. The ringer in this race is the clearly visible 2 men in a horse costume. Every single race, the same thing happens to these poor fellows. They attempt to round the curve, and they crash and burn, ejecting them from the horse costume, exposing them for the phonies they really are.
You're a phony! Hey everybody! This guy's a great big phony!
But even they get their moment in the spotlight in the last race when they win in a freak accident, where Spain's bull takes out all the competition, then just says screw it and stops right before the finish line, allowing the false horse crew to run on foot past the finish line. This game is essentially for people who want to get together with some friends and gamble their money away in quite possibly one of the saddest ways ever. If you're gambling on this game, it may be the sign of a serious gambling problem, and you should seek help. Go now! Your family is worried about you. Stop watching this and get the help you need. Why is this a game? Does any good come out of playing this game? Are you a better person after playing this game? Or could you have gone your whole life without even knowing about this game's existence and been better off that way? And the answer is, yeah, probably. If you played this whole game through, you wasted roughly 20 minutes of your life that's not coming back to you. That's 20 minutes you could have spent doing literally anything else. Counting your teeth would have probably been a better use of your time. This is Jack McCormick with Why? Alright, I'm done horsing around. That one's for you, Nate. Now back to Respawn TV.
Welcome back to Respawn TV. I'm your host, Nate Quick, and you just saw Jack's pack, Why? WikiLeaks recently released over 8,000 CIA documents that show exactly how the agency can spy on consumers. These documents, which WikiLeaks founder Julian Assange asserts detail, quote, the entire hacking capacity of the CIA, end quote, already seem to have much more information in them than the Snowden files, and detail software and software exploits that can be used to monitor just about any modern computing device, including smartphones and smart TVs. These leaks are just the first in a series titled Vault 7, a collection of files that WikiLeaks intends to use to make consumers aware of the danger of the devices, as well as spark conversation about how much power the CIA should in reality have. We're going to take a short break for commercials, but first, here's Nelson Butler with Storyteller.
What up, what up? Nelson Butler here, and he's back with another segment of Storyteller. This week, I'm reviewing Batman the Arkham Knight. This was the fourth and supposedly the last installment of Batman the Arkham series.
Will he ever learn?
Arkham Knight takes place a year after the events of Arkham City, which Joker has met his untimely end. Supposedly one less problem to worry about. But now Scarecrow takes his approach and attempts to take over Gotham by fear. He warns the audience that he's going to release a fear gas upon the city so everyone evacuates, except for the criminals, of course. Batman Arkham Knight features the same characters you're used to, old villains and even new ones. It has the same gameplay and environment as the older Batman games, so everything is very familiar. So Batman, as always, is trying to save Gotham from the threats that come, but he's introduced to a new villain called the Arkham Knight, who heads out hard for Batman. Like that's unusual.
Time to die, old man.
Not only does Batman have to deal with the battle of thousands of criminals, but he also has a battle with himself as his arch-nemesis tries to take it over. Yep, the Joker. He may be dead, but he still has his last joke inside of Batman. Batman has to fight control over his own mind as Joker attempts to take it over. I think this gives the game a perfect reason to have our favorite character come in and still play a role in this final edition.
Seriously? Do you believe that accent? That he only puts it on to sound scary.
As for the gameplay, Arkham Knight still plays the same, except now you have the Batmobile. The Batmobile is awesome, but you get bored of it very quickly. You can tell the creators try to force you to utilize the Batmobile by having super long battles with it and solving a different amount of puzzles. All the characters in the game act as you would expect them to, so a good character development. As for Batman, he feels too emotionless. I know that's his personality, but in this one, he just feels soulless.
Trust me, Robin, she's fine. I need you to focus on the cure.
You don't have to do this on your own, Bruce. I can help you.
It's under control. We need that antidote.
The open world is still as vast as ever. You still have plenty of side missions and more characters to interact with. I think the Arkham Knight is a good way to end the series, but I can honestly say that there is nothing more that they can do. While playing, I felt that this was just too similar to the prequels, which made me not like this version as much compared to Arkham Asylum and Arkham City. I also felt like they did a lot of things that were lazily explained. But this is still a great game. I give Batman Arkham Knight a 7 out of 10. It just lacked true conflict for it to get a higher score. That's all I got for this week. I'm Nelson Butler, and I'll see you next time on Storyteller.
Thanks, Nelson. Welcome back to Respawn TV. I'm Nate Quick. Project Delta is coming up next. Respawn TV and Delta air each week, Monday through Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. And you can watch our content online at facebook.com/respawn8 and on KNWT's YouTube page. Now it's time for a quick commercial break. Please stay tuned for more Respawn TV.
Hello and welcome to another episode of Project Delta. I'm your host, Evan Van Zant.
And I'm Aiden Calfee.
Aiden, what are we playing this week?
We are playing Halo 3 on the Master Chief Collection exclusively for the Xbox One.
Indeed we are.
A little bit of an old game, but you know, it's a classic.
2007, 10 years ago.
Yeah, it actually...
10 years ago.
It's going to be celebrating its 10th birthday in September, I believe, on the 25th. Oh, shoot. See if you can get him.
Don't know if I did.
I didn't. Well, that character contains a skull. We'll just worry about it later.
Or not.
Or, yeah.
Yeah, since we didn't get the skull. Skull hunting is really fun. I'm a fan.
It's one of my favorite things about Halo, just all the little things they compress into the game that aren't necessarily important to the main story, but are just fun to do anyway.
That's like the majority of the time and achievements that I have in Master Chief Collection are just me looking for dolls, terminals, skulls, Easter eggs, because in Master Chief Collection there's an achievement for every single one, and so it's a lot of Easter eggs to go looking for.
That's a lot of achievements to do, yeah.
Yeah, and because Master Chief Collection has like 800 of them, I got like 4 score for every single one. 5. I got 5. You get 5 for each one, and then you get 10 for collecting them all. So it's not time. I did that over Christmas break, and at the same time, I believe Black Ops 3 came out. That sounds right. And so all the friends on my list played like 10 minutes of Black Ops 3 and got more achievement points than I did all Christmas break.
Oh, wow.
Because achievements are worth nothing in this game because I think there's like over 1,000 of them at this point.
Seriously?
Yeah, because they keep adding them. They had a whole bunch at launch, and then they added like 100 more, and then when they added ODST to the lineup, they added like 150 more, and then after I stopped playing, they added some more.
I didn't think they'd still be updating a game that just isn't played as much anymore.
Well, they aren't still updating it.
Oh, okay.
They updated it one more time after ODST came out, I believe, and that was the last thing. But there's so many achievements in this game. So many. And a lot of them I will never get in a million years. Because they've got an achievement for Legendary All Skulls on all the different campaigns.
No, thank you.
They've got a whole bunch of multiplayer ones, which are going to be impossible now that nobody plays this game, because it's well known for having broken multiplayer. That being said, I got my money's worth out of it. I really enjoyed it.
Oh yeah, it's great, and it's games that are just... Honestly, I think the Halo series, well, at least the first 3, do a really good job of holding up to the test of time.
Oh yeah. Halo 3 ODST is still one of my favorite games of all time. I think it's very, very well designed.
The atmosphere of that game is great.
It is. It's so good.
And then the difference between the night levels of you're alone in the city going around versus the daytime levels where it's just basically like go in and smash everything.
And the way the story is told too.
Oh yeah.
Where you essentially discover campaign missions after the fact.
Mm-hmm.
You just go around as the lone ODST and you just pick up remnants of fights, and then you get to go back and play those fights as they actually happened. I thought that was really cool.
Yeah, I haven't really seen that in a whole ton of other FPSs especially, so it was a nice little thing to add.
It's like the memento of games.
Oh, Cortana, please.
This, I'm not a fan of.
Yeah.
I don't think it's good storytelling, and I think it's really annoying and breaks up the gameplay.
It gets a little rougher on this level, especially because we're supposed to be going and finding Cortana on that crashed ship. So the closer you get to it, the more there are.
Yeah. Am I? Boy, you can tell I have not played Halo in a while.
Yeah, where are you?
I think I'm locked out, to be quite honest. Oh, no, wait, here's a little marker thing.
Wow, you are way... I'll see if I can teleport you or something, because I'm just going to...
Honestly, I should have by this point.
Yeah, I'm sorry. I'm not going to backtrack. I'm going to...
No, don't backtrack. Like, that's not going to get us anywhere.
Yeah.
I'm just going to kill my...
Oh, there you go.
Well, suicide is for another day then.
Speaking, there's the suicidal marine that they have in every Halo game.
Oh, yeah.
Contemplating life rather than getting infected by the flood.
You mean contemplating death?
Yep. No. Oh, this is the level Floodgate, by the way. It's, I believe, the 5th or 6th mission.
I think it's 5th.
It's right after the Flood get to Earth, and the elites are really concerned about the Flood spreading and infecting because the shipmaster mentioned something about one Flood spore can destroy an entire species.
Mm-hmm.
And Earth is very important to the Halo series.
Being from Earth, I'm going to go ahead and say just in general.
Yeah.
I realize it's a little ethnocentric of me, but I'm going to go ahead and call Earth important.
We haven't found anyone out there to challenge that yet, so.
It's where I keep all my stuff. I can't do that. That was the tip, but.
I mean, hey, it sounded new to me, so you could have just went with it.
So, new games versus old games. Halo's still a running series, but it's been taken over by, man.
Yeah, Heroic's kind of tough.
A little bit. Been taken over by 343, which is sort of like a Microsoft cultivated splinter company of the original company.
Like
Bungie.
A subsection.
Yeah, they basically handpicked everybody that they could move away from the project and had them become the new Halo team. Gotta say, not super disappointed with new Halo games. I like Halo 5. I liked Halo 4 just fine. It's the story that bothers me. Gameplay-wise, I think they're doing a very good job of bringing Halo into the modern era at least.
I honestly don't mind the storytelling as much. I mean, it takes away from classic Halo in the fact that it kind of expands on the Forerunners and all these things that are supposed to be well-guarded secrets before, and they're really just putting it out for everyone to show. But I'm personally interested in the lore of Halo and how things went down before, the timeline of the game. So it's cool to finally see. Oh, I'm sorry, that was me. It's cool to finally see these characters that are mentioned in like terminals in Halo 3 or stuff like that.
Well, I don't have a problem with the content being covered. I just don't. I just don't like the campaigns. I don't think they're that good.
Like the writing?
Yeah, the writing's not great. The gameplay's Like I did not have a single minute of fun playing the Halo 5 campaign. I'll tell you that right now.
Really? Not even the blue team missions?
Nope, didn't like them. Thought they were dumb. Yeah, like I did multiplayer, great. I'm a big fan of Halo 5 multiplayer, especially late game. A year or so later now that they've updated it a whole bunch. I like what they've done with it. I think it's really good. But campaign, the 1, 2, 3 ODST, they'll always be king to me.
I like Halo 5 enough. It doesn't stand out quite the way Halo 3 does. This is my absolute favorite. But, I mean, to spend your time for a bit, it's fun to just pop in and play. But, yeah, story-wise, it's not as attention-grabbing as some of the other ones.
All right, well, thanks for joining us this week. Next week we'll have new hosts, new game, new Respawn. So please come back, Channel 8, Monday through Thursday at 8 o'clock p.m. We'll see you there.
Bye.
Bye.